the best in the world.
What I'd like to have right now.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Because I was right, the right was cool.
Are you ready?
It doesn't matter!
I said, are you ready? I'm a sexy beast, baby! I was up all night! And I'm
Episode number 3. It's Decemberfest. It's holiday time. I was out there getting the holiday shopping done, and I got to tell you, the craziest thing happened. I was at the Aeropostale because they had 70% off, and everybody knows I like to get my skateboard outfits on. And I was out there hitting Shining Wizards and Axe Bombas and Western Lariats on everybody. It was a fucking madhouse out there shopping. I went out for the Big Apple, and I got the worm.
When the fuck have you ever skateboarded?
I have a dark past. Anyway, well, episode number 3, holiday time on the For Life podcast. When you listen to your podcast, you listen to it for life. This is your man, Cheyenne, along with the Bosch Beanbag, the co-host, sitting bedside. I'm talking sunny bedside, if you get what I mean.
This is only our 3rd podcast, and I'm already in your bed, Cheyenne.
I know. I'm easier than a Sunday morning. Oh, man, the shopping. Did you buy it for all your kids, all 50 of them?
I pretty much got them all done.
Man, lots to talk about this week. We're going to definitely recap TLC. For whatever reason, it seems as if the IWC, my peoples, didn't like the TLC pay-per-view as a whole. I don't see why that wasn't a decent pay-per-view.
I mean, it was better than maybe the last couple pay-per-views. There wasn't a shit finish. There was actually a decisive champion at the end of the show.
No, I mean, minus that. You got to talk about the pay-per-view as a whole.
I mean, I missed the first match, but I know that the tag match, well, at least the ending of the tag match would.
It seemed like the tag match stole it.
Yeah,
for
Big Show.
Kind of drew you away.
Big Show and Ray against the Rhodes brothers.
Yeah.
Once the 2 heel teams were eliminated, I thought, how is this going to work? This is 2 babyface teams, but they made it work. And
yeah, I feel like sometimes us as wrestling fans, I know I'm not like this, and I'm not saying that you are in particular, but the general consensus, like, we're kind of like just really, really particular with like, oh, you can't do 2 baby faces, you can't do 2 heels. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, if it works, then definitely.
Yeah, and it was cool seeing Dustin in there with Show and Ray. He's the story of the year.
Definitely, I'm glad.
The only reason that Goldust comeback overshadows Roberts and Hall's sobriety story is because they didn't get back in the ring within the year that it happened.
Yeah, well, that's yet to be seen if Jake can get into the Rumble. I'm not sure what Hall's plans are, as if he wants to get in the ring or not, but time will tell.
We'll talk about that.
I don't see why Jake can't just get the big pop, get in the ring, let the snake loose in the ring. Everybody scatters, kind of like '96.
Yeah,
everybody puts the snake away, gets back in the ring, DDTs a few people, short arm clothesline, gets eliminated. He gets his pop.
I was actually talking about this with Jamal Jackson 2 weeks ago. DDP did an interview a few weeks back and said that Hall might not be able to do it in a Rumble because he just got the new hip.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much risking, the surgery and all the effort that went into that. And then with Jake, Jake could probably go out there, give you 15, 20 minutes in a Rumble, where he doesn't have to work much, or maybe even a match. I don't know, but it'd be nice to see those guys. I don't think if that's the case, Hall shouldn't do it. And like I told you on a couple like I've said on pretty much all the podcasts, I believe in guys getting one more match. And Hall's definitely no exception to that rule.
I mean, I would like to see him get back in there. I recently saw a match that Jake did on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was a 6-man, I believe, but he was in there. He did.
Yeah, his last couple bookings have been 6-mans from what I'm seeing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that gives him a chance to take a break, rest on the apron, do his thing,
Yeah, and he's not in, shape yet in terms of, in-ring capability, but just the fact that he's out there is beautiful as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely.
But, yeah, I think Goldust would get, comeback of the year in terms of story and stuff like that. I thought TLC overall, from what I did see and what I did hear, was a fantastic pay-per-view. I think the finish was great. Well, it was different. You know, Cena getting handcuffed to the bottom. In case you haven't seen this yet, I'm sorry. But Cena getting handcuffed to the.
It's been a week. You should have seen it by now.
Yeah.
You should know
it's
what
on.
happened.
It's actually on YouTube already. My buddy told me. Getting handcuffed to the bottom rope. You know, that's been done a bunch of times. But seeing Cena get out of it was different, especially since he was still attached to the rope. That was pretty cool. I'm not sure how I feel about Orton pulling him down. I think what made that finish work was Cena's landing, because Cena had a rough landing on the neck, on the neck and shoulder.
Yeah,
and it's actually not the shoulder that I think. I mean, the pectoral. It's not the side that he had the surgery on back in like 07 or 08 or whatever. But that was a rough landing, and you just see nothing but pain in his face.
Yeah,
I was kind of there watching, like, if you see Orton's kind of like looking around, he's unsure. So I don't even know if that was the finish that was planned. When you think about it, because like you see Orton kind of like, should I grab this? Should I not grab it? But it was cool. Do I think the celebration went on for a little long? I actually do, believe it or not. I think like once Orton won, you know, do your magazine pose, get down, establishment comes out, do that pose, call it a day. Well,
that is the DVD cover for the TLC.
Yeah, I saw that this morning. You know, people are saying, why don't we have a new title? Dude, we just got a new title a year ago.
It hasn't even been a year. It was February. This
it hasn't
year.
even been a year yet for the new title. And then on top of that, you know, it's cool having them with the 2 belts. I don't see what's wrong with that. At some point, I think they are going to need a 1 title again.
Maybe like they did in 11 years ago, they can unify. They can come up with either a new belt or just go with the current WWE title after Mania.
I mean, obviously, like we talked about before, the WWE title is obviously the title.
I mean, from what I heard, it was a pain in the ass for Jericho to have to carry both belts.
Yeah.
And once Triple H got it, they turned it into 1 belt. So
yeah, I mean, believe it or not, I mean,
maybe
no
maybe when Cena wins it, it'll be 1 belt.
No, with our luck, no offense. WrestleMania 30, new belt. It sucks because that belt should get a better lifespan. But if you want to go new belt, I say WrestleMania 30.
I mean, considering the spinner belt had a good 8 years.
Yeah, considering that belt was supposed to be strictly Cena. But I don't
know.
it
was always strange seeing it on guys like Punk or Del Rio or Shane.
I had a really big problem seeing it on Batista. I had a really big problem seeing that belt on Batista.
And that's a great segue.
I mean, are we done recapping TLC
I mean,
already?
What could we say? I mean,
Roman Reigns, believe it or not, I thought The Shield had a fantastic performance. And I don't think it was all Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. I thought the match was well done. I thought the story was well told. Roman Reigns got that nasty eye thing going on. He looked like me in the morning. Punk had a great showing. Made sense for the Wyatts to go over on Bryan. I would have liked to see more Bray Wyatt, but kind of like JR said, and the time, you know, there's always going to be time for that. Mm-hmm. AJ contest was a solid bout. I think they could have gone a little longer, but it was solid. Tag team match for me kind of took the, you know, had it not been a TLC match, that would have stole the show.
Yeah.
It was great, especially seeing all that drama that got involved, because it took the crowd a while to get into it. I think it was until after the first elimination. And elimination.
Yeah, once Ryback was gone.
Elimination's always the way to go with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You can't go one fall. You can't. Like, I hate when they do that. But elimination's always the way to go with that. And did I miss anything? Big E had the match. Big E's match was pretty cool. I enjoyed the pre-show with Fandango and Ziggler. I don't know how I feel about Fandango losing the last couple weeks.
I think he won. He won at the pre-show but lost on Raw.
Yes, you're right.
There was that segment during the panel where
yes.
Kofi confronted The Miz.
Yeah, and that was the worst no DQ match I've ever seen. It was like not even a full 10. There's not a damn weapon in sight. Kofi gets the win. Which
Did he win? I completely
1,000 times.
I completely zoned out during that match.
You know, that was just like a.
I feel like there's just so many matches that I zone out of because I've seen them a million times, and I think that's just that's the problem with
especially Kofi Miz.
So much television time that you run out of fresh ideas, and that's
not entirely true.
I mean, how many times have we seen Kofi and Miz or Matadors and 3MB?
Well, again, that's a booking thing. It's not.
Yeah, and they keep booking the same.
We've seen it 1,000 times, but they have other options. Do they pursue them? Well, I guess they have their reasons.
And I feel like there was a period about a month ago when they were doing a lot of stuff on Raw that could have been saved for pay-per-views. For instance,
Such as?
when they put the Punk and Bryan against the Shield, I felt like that was the first time that the Shield and Punk had any interaction on TV since they debuted and they were helping him out. I thought that could have been saved. That was kind of out of nowhere. Also, Ryback versus Big Show, and he performed the shell shock on the Big Show. I thought that could have been saved for a pay-per-view as well. Even when Big E won the Intercontinental title and then defended it that Sunday at Survivor Series.
I actually think that was good for Raw.
Really?
I actually would have kept that for Raw because I feel like Raw needs more belt exposure. We're getting great matches this year on Raw, especially since the 3 hours, but we're not getting many title matches. We're not getting many title matches. We're not getting many title changes.
That is true. I don't think we've had at least a major title change.
Oh, I can't remember.
I know. I think when Alberto won the heavyweight title from the Big Show, that was on a Raw that was a SmackDown.
SmackDown, the Miami one last year, right before he took on Swagger at Mania.
Yeah.
It's around this time last year,
Mm-hmm.
post Rumble. Raw the next night, Daniel Bryan, I heard, got Orton's number, and I heard it's looking like Bryan and Orton somewhere down the road. The obvious choice is the Royal Rumble.
But do you really want to put that match at the Rumble, or do you want maybe Bryan to win the Rumble, or what would you do there? Because I see Bryan maybe winning the Rumble, or maybe somehow extend. I mean, if they've pushed this far, why not extend it to Mania and maybe give him that big one at Mania? Or
I love Bryan to death, but I think I want Punk to win the Rumble. If you ask me right now,
yeah,
I think I want Punk to win the Rumble. It's tough. It's like now with the way things are, whoever wins the Rumble, you know what the main event of WrestleMania is in theory. But there's still a pay-per-view in between.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. So is that person the number one contender? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Does the Chamber get 8 pods now? Like, do more guys get a shot? Does the Chamber get an extra 2 pods? Does it turn into a different thing? Is it war? There's a lot of questions about that
needs to be
gap,
answered.
that
Yeah.
February gap. And then is WrestleMania April or did we get March this year? We got April, right?
April
6th?
Yes.
Right, we got April 6th. Okay, and then you got 4 Raws to build.
Yeah.
So you got a pay-per-view in February and 4 Raws to build.
No, it's like about 6. If it's the middle of February all the way to the beginning of April, that's about 6 weeks.
So so in theory, what that means is Rumble's at the end of January, Chamber's 2 weeks later, and that's 6 Raws to build.
Yeah.
Which by then, obviously, there'll be a clear picture. 6 Raws to build is kind of tough.
Yeah, it was tough this past year.
Oh, well, that's what happens when one of the guys ain't working.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, 2 of the guys.
No, I'm talking about Rock.
And Brock wasn't there as much. Brock was there a little more than Rock.
I honestly...
It was tough because there was that week
it's
that
one thing
Cena
if
was
you're
off.
on a track. Listen, if you're going against a streak,
Yeah.
believe it or not, it's easy to antagonize The Undertaker in his absence. Because then when he appears on a Raw or SmackDown, he's pissed off. Triple H and Brock was a bit of a different thing. If you're in the WWE title match, you got to be there.
Well, I guess that was the big difference between the previous year.
And I mean, yeah, Rock was there more than the previous year. Of course, it was a title match, but...
I know there was that one week that Rock wasn't on TV, so they had to leave Cena off TV.
Yeah, that was very, very strange.
I
Even
know,
though the focus was on, that was when Punk, I think, poured the ashes, right? Was that Raw?
Yeah, but I feel like, from what I remember out of Elimination Chamber, the one definite match was Swagger and Del Rio.
Yeah, we had a lot of question marks from
because
Mania.
there was always the Punk and Rock had that rematch.
Right.
Punk and Cena had that great number 1 contender match. So
Right.
it was a while before it was officially Rock and Cena.
Yeah.
And then it was more like Punk.
Yeah, plus we had the number 1 contenders match.
Yeah, so Punk came out and challenged Taker. It was
Taker
like,
at the
okay,
old school.
I don't have shit to do at Mania. I'm going to go after the streak.
I mean, well, that
And
had been
unfortunate
rumored for
when
months, though, and we thought it wasn't going to happen. So when it happened, it was cool.
And then it was unfortunate that the Paul Bearer passing and that the storyline kind of revolved around that because he passed that week.
My question, and I think I asked you this last year, was it wrong to not have Rock wrestle on Raw?
I mean, I think the attraction was you're going to have to pay to see this guy fight. I mean, he already wrestled 2 pay-per-views prior to that.
I agree with. All right, that I can't attest. I know that if Rock gets booked this year, if it was me booking it, I'd book him on a Raw.
I mean, what would you have booked them in? What, a tag match?
Obviously, a tag match.
They already did
I
that.
honestly would have booked him in a tag match. You could have booked him in a one-on-one match. You could have done whatever you wanted with him.
Yeah.
Guy got $5 million for 25 dates.
Is it him or Brock?
Yeah, whatever dates he worked. He
Yeah.
got what, $5 million? It was reported, rumored rather. Come on, he could have. If he laced it up at Survivor Series to be in the ring for like 8 minutes, he could have done it again.
The Miz and R-Truth.
He could have done it again, which neither guy benefited from. He could have done it again. I'm just saying. Shawn Michaels, CM Punk, WrestleMania. No, sorry, I don't think like the rest of you. Shawn Michaels and Punk, obviously the segment that people are talking about. Why don't you lay that down for me?
I mean, for me, it was a dream come true because, as you know, Shawn's my favorite of all time, and CM Punk is my current favorite. So that's a dream match of mine. Unfortunately, I don't see it taking place.
I don't see it happening. Everybody swears up and down, Bible, as the Kardashians would say, that Shawn Michaels is going to come out of retirement and he's going to take on Brian, and it's going to be student and teacher, and it's going to be the Dragon and the Showstopper, and it's going to be Ed. It's not going to happen.
Unfortunately, I agree. I mean, I would love to see him face Brian. I would love to see him face Punk.
There's tons of options, and that's what happens when you have...
I would love to see him wrestle The Rock. I would love to see him wrestle Brock Lesnar.
There's tons of different options, and that's what happens when guys aren't active. That's what happens when guys retire.
Oh, here's a scoop. You might not know this. I listened to one of my podcasts, Court Bauer.
Okay.
He was a former writer for WWE.
Yes, he was.
He said that the original plan for WrestleMania 22...
I told you this.
You told me what?
I told you this story.
That it was supposed to be
off the podcast. It was supposed to be Sean and Eddie.
Sean and Eddie.
Yeah, and we were going to get Vince and Brett.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Eddie passed, and that didn't happen. But that would have been another dream match of mine.
Yeah. I mean, with that situation real quick, because we got to get back to current, I never thought Eddie was going to win. I never thought Eddie was going to beat Batista in that feud. What would have happened in between, I don't know. I think Sean and Eddie would have stole it. And you know what? I'm glad that we got Sean and Vince that year because that match doesn't get a lot of credit as far as I'm concerned.
It was an entertaining match.
Why 2K didn't put it in this year's game? No idea.
Maybe, like, I know I don't have the game yet, but does it include, like, interferences and stuff as well?
It includes everything. So Spirit Squad could have been in there. Shane could have been in there. There's a lot of scenarios. Listen.
I guess you could have put an alternate costume on Dolph Ziggler.
Which would have been cool. They could have done all that. Piper is not in the game. You have to create him, but he's in WrestleMania mode. But they don't reference him. It's very strange. So as far as I'm concerned, they could have totally referenced the Spirit Squad, especially since none of them are wrestling.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what?
One of them is.
Yeah. Who? I don't know. Probably Mitch. So, yeah. It would have been a great Mania. I'm glad we didn't get Vince Brett. We shouldn't have gotten it four years later, whenever it happened. But back to current. Shawn Michaels, CM Punk. It was a great segment. Two totally opposite lifestyles. Is Shawn Michaels going to come back and wrestle? No. And get over that now.
I'm trying to.
It's not that hard, bro. It's not that hard. Everybody's like, DX versus the best of the beard. No, it's not happening.
Unfortunately, one of our favorite wrestlers doesn't honor his retirement stip, and one of them does.
You leave Terry Funk out of this.
You know I'm not talking about Funk. Anyways, when we come back, this guy's been mentioned twice, and we did not segue into it, but we'll mention the return of Batista.
Hey guys, this is Cheyenne for the For Life Podcast. When you listen to your podcast, you listen to it for life. We support indie wrestling. The stars of tomorrow are performing for you today on the independent professional wrestling circuit. So go to your local gymnasium, your local recreational center, your barn, your parking garage, anywhere. Support independent professional wrestling. The stars of today are performing for you right now. Support independent wrestling.
And we're back, folks. So it's been leaked this week that Batista is scheduled to appear at a house show in Las Vegas in the middle of February. So what do you think there, Cheyenne?
What a blunder. How could you drop, listen, I'm not going to say, this is a topic we're going to talk about later, has the internet, killed wrestling or a bunch of shit. But I just can't believe WWE let that leak like that. It was like, remember when Jericho came back in 2007 and the internet ruined it, right?
Yeah.
And I guess maybe WWE decided, well, it's already out there. And they put Jericho on the magazine.
Yeah, I remember.
And the magazine was out 2 weeks before he came out on Raw. And it was like, well, we know who it is.
Then fast forward to one of his last comebacks when
right.
there was a picture
Nobody
of him
knew.
standing in the airport. Just like when Booker T and Kevin Nash were in the airport before their Rumble appearances.
Yes, but that was different. Nash said in an interview he's wrestling.
Okay.
So that's different. I remember that. Nash spilled it himself because he's my man.
So, Cheyenne, you kept me in suspense. What do you think they will do with Batista's
Batista
return?
Ryback, WrestleMania 30.
Oh, God.
Batista Ryback, WrestleMania 30. Batista goes over.
I'm gonna
Goldberg.
Turn off your mic.
It's not. Listen, I don't think we're getting Goldberg. I don't think we're getting Sting. Between the two, believe it or not, I think we're going to get Sting before we get Goldberg.
Yeah,
I think we'll get Sting before we get Goldberg, especially the way things are going down in Dixieland. That's my opinion. I'm not trying to make any, but I guess I am. Right now, I'm calling it right here, third episode, Goldberg, Ryback, Louisiana, Mercedes-Benz Superdome, live April 6th, WrestleMania 30.
I thought you just said Goldberg wasn't.
I said Goldberg just now?
Yes.
Well, we're not going to edit that. I messed up. Live April 6th, WrestleMania 30, New Orleans, Superdome, Batista, and Ryback.
All right. I mean, one of the obvious dream matches would be Batista and Brock. I know he was. Do you remember a few years back when he was actually.
Yes, the SummerSlam incident when we were all watching and Batista and JBL kept being down and we kept thinking, no, Brock's coming out. And I was the only one.
Well, there was a press conference where he pretty much begged Brock Lesnar to come
Yes.
back to wrestle him. But
I actually don't think that's going to happen, though.
I don't think that's going to happen just because they're probably going to book Brock and Taker. It could happen maybe at a.
I hope we don't get Brock and Taker. I actually don't want that.
I mean, it's going to happen.
I don't want that. I don't want Brock and Taker. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I just don't want it.
I mean,
is it going to be as good as the Hell in a Cell match? Hell no.
Oh, definitely not.
Oh my God.
Or as good as Shawn and
one of my
Taker.
favorite matches ever.
I love that.
No,
match.
you can't. You see.
Let's just keep going.
It wouldn't be a 4Life podcast without technical difficulties. You can't compare. If you're going to go by if Brock and Taker go at it this year, you got to compare it to their old matches. You can't compare it to like the last 3-4 Taker matches because Brock hasn't been relevant in all those years.
Yeah.
You can't, Will it be as good as a Hell in a Cell match? Hell no. But I think it'll be okay. I don't know if Brock can take care of Taker though.
I mean, we also said can Shawn and Taker top their original Hell in a Cell match, and they did at Mania. So you never know, maybe.
But when did we ever get Shawn and Taker in a straight singles match? That's those are two different theories. Mm-hmm. Each match is different theories. Does that mean that one's gonna be better than the other? It really depends on the workers. It shouldn't, but I mean, the best Taker-Shawn match that I ever saw, grudgingly, I guess I gotta say Mania 25.
Grudgingly, that was a great fucking match.
It's tough for me to put that above Hell in a Cell, man. The first one, the first in '97. It's tough for because that another good fucking match.
No, they were both great. I would say 25.
Yeah, grudgingly, I'm going to go with 25. Grudgingly. You want to know what my number 3 is?
What?
Casket match.
Casket match?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a casket match. It's the last time the casket match was considered scary. What was the last casket match you cared about, man? It's probably going to be the same answer as me. Go ahead.
The last one I remember off the top of my head is Henry and Taker.
The last casket match that I cared about was Heidenreich Taker at Rumble 04.
Oh, yeah.
Which was actually a good match.
Well, that was before Taker and Henry.
Yeah, that was a whole year before. When Cena and Batista
were Snitsky and Heidenreich.
Oh, yeah. And remember we thought we were going to get... Yes, when he sodomized Michael Cole. Do you remember when we all thought we were going to get... This one I actually believe. We were going to get Brothers of Destruction
Against Snitsky and Heidenreich?
We just wanted an excuse for the fucking Brothers of Destruction to wrestle. We all were like, yep, that's happening. It's happening. That's a side. That match would have sucked. No offense to Heidenreich and Snitsky, especially Snitsky, because he doesn't get credit, and he's a friend of ours.
And he follows us on
and
Instagram.
He's listening right now. Godspeed to you, Gene Snitsky, and your poop protein bars. Heidenreich, I always liked him. Unfortunately, what happened in his career and his personal life and things. But that match would have stunk.
Yeah, it would have sucked.
That match would have sucked. And I'm not going to say whose fault it would have been. I'm not going to say it, and neither should you.
It's not his fault.
No, not his fault. Not at all. No, not his fault at all. But I'm going to go Batista and Ryback.
Do you see any involvement with Orton and Triple H, just with the old Evolution?
Is the overall
connection?
Mania thing?
Maybe
I'm
not
sure
Mania.
they're gonna. I think they're gonna tease on that, but I don't think so. I know they're gonna tease and bring it up because how can you not? But how can you not? How can Batista not be the face in that?
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't see Triple H or.
I mean, when he
Orton
left,
turning.
he was on fire as a heel.
Oh, he was amazing.
You're supposed to be my friend.
Yeah, that was so cool. That was so cool.
Even just like the spotlight, the slammies where he came out with the pop
With the
collar.
Kanye thing. Well, that's what I'm calling it, guys. Batista.
I actually saw Riddick this week at my job, and I didn't even know Batista was
Was it
in
good?
it.
I haven't seen it.
It sucked, but Batista was in it. I guess
He's
that
not
was
doing this podcast.
that was those. No, I thought he was fine in the movie. I thought it was just the overall movie. I
Was
thought
that Riddick, Vin Diesel, right?
yeah.
Well, I mean, what we expect an Academy fucking award.
I mean, but I mean, I think Batista did a good job in the movie.
Batista's a great actor. He was great
Yeah.
in the Golden Fist thing.
I haven't seen that one.
That was good.
That was those pictures where he was taking the selfies in the bathroom and he had the weird braid.
Yeah,
mohawk.
that was cool.
That was for Riddick.
That was a cool movie. I haven't seen a movie in a while, but I'm glad I saw that one.
He was also in the Scorpion King 3.
That I never saw. I don't watch direct.
I
don't
watched
watch
parts of it at my
direct-to-videos.
job.
If Hulk Hogan's not in it, I don't watch direct to videos. I don't.
All right.
So I'm calling that now. Batista, I mean, I guess in terms of advertising, but I remember when Big Show came back and nobody knew about it back in 2008. They didn't advertise him until after he came out, got No Way Out. So
Mayweather, right?
yeah. But again, until he came out of No Way Out, he wasn't advertised.
Mm-hmm.
That was a total shock when Show came out. He came out right after the match. It was like watching a Raw.
Just like Jericho's Rumble appearance, they finally got it right. And it was a genuine Jericho surprise.
Well, I mean, the best one is Cena's Rumble.
Yeah, that one. That
Because I was
impressive.
there for that. And, man, everybody in the garden went batshit, including me. But Batista, I don't see why that's not best for business. Dave, if you're listening, good job in The Man with the Golden Fist or whatever movie it was. You kicked ass, brother.
And in Riddick. The movie sucked, but you didn't.
All right, so we said it like it is. When we come back, we're going to talk about Holiday SmackDown and holiday memories in wrestling. There's not many standouts. There's a lot of bad ones, but we're going to cover them both.
Hey folks, this is Bosch, the biggest social media whore there is out there. And if you want to support the For Life podcast, just follow us on Facebook. It's IVLIFE PODCAST. That's 4, not the number 4, but the Roman numeral 4. And the same goes for Twitter and Instagram. That's at For Life Podcast, same address. Also, if you want to send us any feedback, you can contact us on that's IV.lifepodcast@gmail.com. You can send us feedback, positive, negative, anything you think we can do to improve the show. Also, spread the word to all your friends if you're listening, whether you're here in New York or in the UK. Spread the word. Get us more listeners. The more listeners we have, the more leverage we have. When people ask us how many listeners we have, we can give them a higher number. We can get guests, maybe wrestlers someday. So give us that leverage, give us that support, and keep showing your love, because when you're listening to your podcast, you're listening to it for life. And we're back. That was Batista's music for you. His original theme song, not the Saliva version. Cheyenne?
That does not mean that Batista's going to appear on this podcast and we're going to advertise it and ruin it. I mean, if he does come one day, we are going to advertise it so everybody else can listen in Japan, our biggest fans. We're like the Jesse and the Rippers of the podcast world. We're big in Japan. I just actually want to bring up the Holiday SmackDown. I'm big on holiday shows. They've always been pretty cool in wrestling. There's been some good ones, some bad ones. I just want to recap the SmackDown. John Cena opened it up, and of course, it turned into the Shield kicking his ass. Babyfaces came out. It was Henry and Big E, and it was cool. Kane announced it, which, it's cool seeing Kane in that role, believe it or not, because it's kind of funny for me.
I think it's hilarious. Yes.
But believe it or not, I disagree with Kane booking individual matches. I think he should have booked a 6-man. I feel like tag matches are the best way to go for holiday and theme type of shows, especially since with each individual match, there was interference, and then in the main event with Cena and Rollins, everybody was at ringside, just like the first 2 matches. So, I don't know. It was a little kerfuddled, but then we had Cesaro-Cody. That was a pretty cute TV match. We had Ziggler and Orton. Did you see that RKO?
I didn't watch SmackDown.
I actually watched it, and what a nasty RKO. Just
of course.
total
Ziggler.
Disrespectful. It was like Rob Van Dam level RKO. Wyatt's cut a promo on Bryan. It's clear that this feud is going to be going past what we saw at the pay-per-view and Monday on Raw.
So maybe that can be the program for Rumble, maybe a one-on-one match with Bray and Daniel
Yeah,
Bryan.
and I think Bray needs to get in the ring. I don't know if he's still injured, but he needs some singles time.
Well, they can get a singles match in at the Rumble, and they can both be in the actual Rumble as well. So that could be a good Rumble program, and maybe go with maybe Punk and Orton.
Yeah. I mean, there's a
Rumble.
lot of ways to go. I just want to bring up some holiday memories of wrestling, and one of the first ones I'm going to bring up back when SmackDown started in '99, after they shot the pilot or whatever. The first holiday SmackDown was the McMahon-Helmsley era.
Mm-hmm.
And if anybody remembers that was fresh off of when Stephanie turned heel, and she
I
started
remember.
becoming prominent on television. That was a great SmackDown. That was the December, I think I have it here. It was December of '99. I think it's either the 23rd or the 30th. I think the 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
December 23rd. SmackDown was already being taped at that time. Was airing on Thursdays, and I guess in that year, obviously, Christmas was Saturday that year.
Okay.
Because this is back in Thursdays. But I thought that was a great SmackDown. Jericho was on that show. We got all members of the 2000 DX rendition was there. Mankind, the Posse's on that show. It's a good show if you could check it out on YouTube or Daily Motion. Do you got any holiday memories?
I'm going to go back to 1997. It was dX-Mas.
Oh, okay. Not what I was... Okay.
Where DX came out in their boxers and
Yes.
in the crowd. And also, I just remember as I was, 11 years old? I just turned 11.
Yeah.
And the main event was announced. It was going to be Triple H versus Shawn Michaels for
Yeah.
the European title. And the whole show, they hyped it up like it was going to be like a real match. And like they were beefing with each other. And when they wrestled, it was just like, it was a joke. But as a kid, I loved it, even though I got trolled the entire episode. I thought it was great. They both came out with the China shirts. She was in the middle, and just the whole run, just everything was hilarious, and just Cornette flipping out after the.
I thought Cornette we
Cornette
were
stole
flip
the-
flam bamboozled. It was great, man.
And at the end, it was just like that quick Sergeant Slaughter. Okay, but next week you're gonna face Owen Hart for the European title.
DX and Slaughter was a decent mini rivalry.
That was
everything that was going
like
on.
The pre-Austin McMahon, just the authority.
That's
figure.
a good way to go. That's a fair assessment. Do you remember back in the '90s when there were only maybe at this time there was 9 pay-per-views? No, less than that at that time.
Yeah.
And Survivor Series was the last pay-per-view of the year, except for Starrcade. WWE would end in November, and WCW would always have Starrcade back in December after Survivor Series came out, thanks to Vince. Remember when Santa Claus would come out at the end for those last 3 years?
I know there was. What year?
In Your House.
What year was it that it was Bret Hart? They came
92.
out? 92.
Bret Shawn, 92.
Yeah, I remember seeing that one. I don't know. I guess speaking of Santa Claus, remember the Santa with the kid with the long hair, and Austin came out, stunned Santa.
Oh yeah, that was
also
rough.
97, I think.
That also 97.
That was
also
fun.
97. That was the Raw actually the week after the DX one, and I know that because it was on demand this month for December.
Yeah.
It was like the week after or 2 weeks after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good one. I remember seeing Santa with Brett. I remember that vividly. Santa with Luger at the end of Survivor Series was a little weird for me, believe it or not.
Yeah, that was 1993.
Yeah, and I don't remember them doing the Santas after that. They might have done it with Diesel one year. That's in my head for some reason.
Now I want to ask you, do you remember this?
Happy holidays indeed. However, here comes, ladies and gentlemen, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And here comes. Take a look if you would.
From the South Pole.
The South Pole.
Santa Claus.
Can you believe this?
Man, let me.
Does everyone?
It's not. I mean, it's not the best story, and believe it or not, I don't. As good as my. What was that? 95, right?
Yeah, just about. It was Balls
Yeah.
Mahoney as Santa Claus with the $1 Million
I
Man.
actually did not know that. I actually did not know that. You got me.
Wow, I knew something that you didn't?
Yes, I actually never knew that. I went ahead. I saw the entrance. I saw him get in the ring. I saw him throw a move, and I flipped to Nitro. I don't remember what Nitro had on, so I guess Nitro didn't have anything that great that year. And this is pre-NWO, but I was a kid when that happened, and I just couldn't. And it's funny because he's got one of the best theme songs I've ever heard. There's probably no clean version of this on YouTube, is there?
No, I can't. I think I found one earlier in the week that I wanted to play, but I think that's the best one we can find. But it's pretty cool because it has the commentary in there.
What was his finish?
I don't fucking remember. I guess we have to look up one of his matches.
The gift bag?
I guess what, he swings the gift bag like a fucking chair.
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't know. I remember.
Did he have more than one appearance?
I think he probably wrestled maybe like on Superstars leading into that holiday season. That was like the end of the $1 Million Corporation. Here's an emotional Christmas story for me.
Whoa, it's getting deep.
I was a kid, and I remember the new Jax figures had just come out.
Okay.
And I really wanted the ring. And I remember I was so excited.
I got it.
Huh?
I got the ring. Sorry.
I just remember I was excited, like wondering, was Santa going to deliver the ring? And I couldn't sleep. So I got up in the middle of the night, and I see my grandma in the middle of the hallway wrapping the ring. So I was, in a way, I was like, Santa's not real, but fuck it, I got the ring.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, I don't remember when I knew Santa wasn't real.
I think I had my doubts at that point, but my mom was still trying to kayfabe me.
Yeah.
And I think that was just a confirmation.
Yeah, I stopped being a mark for Santa at about 5, it seems like. I remember staying up
I think there was
all
that
night.
part of me that still wanted to believe.
I was up all night. I think it was 5, and I demanded to see Santa Claus eat the cookies and eat the milk, and that son of a bitch didn't show up. I think that's how it started. My right. I mean, I'm not trying to say Santa Claus isn't real because I believe in him. Yeah.
For all you listeners out there, my daughter's age. So.
He's real. Yeah, because
he's real, Natalie. He's real.
The generation. There's probably some 5-year-olds got a better damn phone than me. Listen to this shit right now, and he's in Japan.
Yep.
He's in Japan, where our biggest fan base is. Not many. Yeah, holiday shows for wrestling are pretty difficult. Do you want to know what my favorite holiday
Which one?
Raw of all time is? And I know I'm going to get shitted on for this from everybody that knows me that's listening to my co-host. The New Year's Eve Raw. Flair Triple H 07 in Greensboro, North Carolina. That was emotional.
That was when
Hunter Regal came out.
Was that when he turned on Flair?
No. This is the last Raw of 07. This is when the winner retire angle was going on, and Vince booked Triple H Flair in Greensboro. And that was one of those Raws where it wasn't the best Raw, but that was what everybody wanted to see, and it actually did really good ratings for a holiday show because it was New Year's Eve. It was taped.
Was that when
Regal came out, and that started the little mini feud they had going into the Rumble,
and
shit like that. But that's always in my mind.
Was that the year that
that was 07, the last Raw of 07.
So, and I remember the first. Was that the first Raw? Was when K-Fed fought Cena? Or was that the year prior?
That was the year prior.
Okay,
that was actually the first Raw of the new of 07. Of 07. This was the last one of 07.
Okay.
This was the last one of 07. And Flair had just gotten through. That was December. Who did he feud with? Not Kennedy. Somebody else. Kennedy is in February. I don't remember who he feuded with.
MVP.
December. No, MVP
was
is January at the Rumble. I was there. Yeah, but that was a tough one. How about, do you remember last year's run when Santa Claus got hit by a car? How fucked up is that?
That's when Alberto had his 1 week heel run.
Yeah.
That was Foley.
That was tough.
Foley.
That one I knew. Thanks. You try to one-up me again. That one I knew. Of course.
He actually had Santa Claus appear at his comedy show back in June.
Yeah.
And at the Hall of Fame. He's actually working on a film.
I Am Santa Claus. I'd like to see it.
I definitely want to check it out. It seems interesting. He's following the lives of all these men that play Santa during the holiday season, but throughout the year.
DDP's a big Santa Claus guy, too, if nobody knows that out there.
Really?
DDP's a big Santa Claus guy. From what I heard, Randy Savage was a big Santa Claus guy.
Mm-hmm.
I know Vince. Mm-hmm. There's some stories about holiday parties with Vince.
That should be a new shirt.
Like
I'm a Santa Claus guy.
No, that's where I draw. It should be what was it? He was Santa Claus, right?
Xanta.
That's what it should be. I'm a Santa Claus
with
guy.
A X.
Yeah.
And then the clause started with a K.
Yeah. $1 Million Man. He can buy anything, but he can buy the English language.
What about Santa with Muscles starting Bill
One
Goldberg?
of my absolute favorite movies.
I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Don't.
There was also the Big Show's appearance in Jingle All the Way.
I'm going to deck your halls, bub. Love that. I mean, I love Jingle All the Way.
Hogan in one?
In a Santa movie?
Yeah.
Other than Santa with Muscles? I don't know.
No, wait. There was one that Goldberg was in.
Yes, but I don't remember it. Holiday movies featuring wrestlers. There's Miz, there's Hogan, there's Show, and that's all I got. There's there's another holiday wrestling movie. Shit, and I think Show's in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, but it must have not been good. But Santa with Muscles is Oscar worthy.
I haven't seen it.
It's not as good as the classic Mr. Nanny.
Oh, that one's Oscar worthy.
That's Oscar worthy, or the Golden Globe winning. I don't know why I haven't gotten to see it from Best Buy. Thunder in Paradise, man. How did you not love that show? Have you ever seen it? Go ahead, say no.
No, I haven't. I'll turn off my mic.
You should.
Okay, I'm back.
Kids, Thunder in Paradise is on sale at Best Buy. The best of the first 3 seasons, the only 3 seasons. It's $9.99.
I remember him he had that when he was in the NWO. He had that match with Savage where he came out.
Yeah, with the flat
wig.
top. That's the wig from
Thunder in Paradise. Right?
No, that's the wig from Santa with Muscles.
Okay.
That's the wig with Santa with Muscles, and which eventually was the wig for you remember 3 Ninjas, High Noon at Mega Mountain?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, man. Hogan kicked ass from like 90 to 99 in the movies. Nobody could say shit. Nobody could say a damn thing because he was drawing.
I mean, did his movies gross $1.3 billion in 1 year like The Rock did in 2013?
Yes, in yen. I don't know. But remember, movie money wasn't billions back then.
Yeah.
So that you can't.
I mean, how are they calculating that? Are they calculating like, okay, this is Fast and Furious, G.I. Joe, Gain and Pain, and Snitch combined made $1.3 billion?
Yeah, like combined.
Because that's not what he made. That's what his movies
No, that's
made.
what the movies made. But
Yeah.
in theory, without Rock, they wouldn't have grossed that much, which is a fair assumption. I don't know if that's fair for Fast
and Furious 6 because that's already a popular
but adding
franchise.
adding him is a big factor.
Oh, yeah.
But what people don't understand is that, and I don't know if even you know this. Do you want to know why ticket prices for the movies are so fucking high?
Tell me.
I'm going to tell you why. How much is the movie ticket price right now?
I don't know. I don't go to the movies.
Can we say $14?
14, 15 maybe?
Okay, let's say 14, right?
Okay.
Believe it or not, out of those $14, the movie theater only sees 2. The movie theater doesn't even see half of that money. Mm-hmm. Hence why the price goes up more and more, because every year it's more of a quarter. Not a whole dollar, a quarter that the movie theater gets. Mm-hmm. So if a movie ticket's $14 and a movie theater only gets $2.25,
yeah,
and I suck at math, but if 100 people go to see a movie on opening day, let's just say on one screen in theory, well, who did most of the money go to? The movie production company or the little movie theater?
The production company.
Well, that's why ticket prices are so high, because movie theaters are like, well, we only get $2 and we got to make our money at the concession stands. Do I think that means concession stands for nachos should be fucking $15? Hell no, but people still buy it. Because let me tell you, I got to get my movie nachos when I'm there watching my Santa with Muscles back in the day.
Well, Santa with Muscles wasn't $14.
Did you see Beyond the Mat in theaters? I actually didn't. I regret that every day of my life.
I regret it too. No, I haven't seen it. Did you see Ready to Rumble in theaters?
No, I did not. Did you?
I wish I had.
I wish I did too. I did not. I've never seen a wrestling movie in theaters that
Actually,
wasn't like The Rock or Cena or Hogan.
Yeah. I mean, recently with the film festival there was a film festival last month. It was Wrestling Films. It was the Roxall Film Festival. So I was able to catch a few films on the big screen. I was able to see Seder Mania, Seven Levels of Hate, and Barbed Wire Cities. So it was a pretty cool experience. I like the whole concept.
And those are all plugs. Most of those you can get on High Spots except for Zader Mania.
Zader Mania, yes, I contacted the director. Hopefully we can get him on here.
Yeah.
But,
Seven Levels of Hate is on High Spots. That's about Colt Cabana and not Adam Pearce.
Yes.
No, Adam Pearce, yeah. Seven Levels of Hate, the best 7-match series, but the last 7-match series probably for the next 10 years in wrestling.
Yeah.
On a consecutive basis. It's a legit rivalry. If you've never seen
it was interesting
matches.
to see like just everything that was going on with the NWA at the time. And it's just mind-boggling that all these companies dropped the ball on Cabana, but that's a whole other story for another podcast. But
Agreed.
Seder Mania was an interesting documentary as well as Barbed Wire Cities. I did contact them, so I'm hoping to work with them with their future film festivals because I do have a background in film, so I thought I can contribute something, even if it's just helping them with the film selection or maybe even trying to work on a film myself to enter. But I do want to be involved with them next year, so hopefully something progresses from that and we can hear about them.
Because then there's not going to be a podcast. I don't know how to do this shit.
Yes, there will.
Oh, okay. If you want to multitask, I can't multitask. At least not in that realm. I can make a decent NWO-style promo. But when we come back, more wrestling talk, more things to come. And just real quick before I forget at the end of the show, next week I will have a major announcement here on the For Life podcast. So you got to check in for the 4th episode next week. But we're not going now. When we come back, lots more to talk about. January 1st, 2014. Another year is over and the first day of a new year begins. The ball is dropped. You've kissed your lady. You might have even kissed your dog. But what is there to do? Exchange Christmas gifts that you didn't want? Talk to somebody you haven't spoken to in years because you're feeling kind of guilty? No, I'll tell you what you're going to do. www.youtube.com/ShyMcMahon. That's CHEYENNEMCMAN. On the 1st of January of the new year, the new season of Cheyenne Championship Wrestling goes up. All your favorite shows, all your favorite stars, including new shows and clips from the For Life podcast start going up on the YouTube page. It's growing. It's coming back. Cheyenne Championship Wrestling. Can you feel it coming back, brother? It's no holds barred. When you listen to your podcast, you listen to it For Life. But when you're watching the best offline WWE video game story mode, you know it's better there. I'm gonna make things right. I'm gonna turn it all around. Love goes far. It's no holds barred. No holds barred. Holds barred. You know Debo's in jail. Ow, ow. No holds barred. Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you. There's no need to change the channel. You're just hearing one of the greatest wrestling feud themes of all time. Do you remember Zeus? Remember how great that was?
Sorry about that. I had to turn my mic back on because I wanted to let you have your little solo there.
Thank you.
I
think I was the only guy when I saw Friday. They yelled, "It's Zeus!" I was the only guy. Everybody's like, "Who the fuck is Zeus?" I was like, "You're not educated."
Yeah, so I played that because we failed to mention No Holds Barred when we were talking about
Available on DVD now?
Hogan's critically acclaimed films, and it's actually coming out on Blu-ray soon. I heard, so I might just wait for it to come out on Blu-ray.
Because I was gonna say if it's coming out on Blu-ray, I'm not buying it then.
Why not?
No, I mean I'm not buying it now because I was gonna buy it for myself for Christmas.
I'm just gonna wait till it comes out on
if
Blu-ray.
It's coming out on Blu-ray, high definition, rip, duh. White strap, winged eagle with high def. I'm all about it.
So, the year's coming to an end. It's been quite the year in wrestling. Let's bring up some of our favorite moments. I mean, that's not saying that good Santa and bad Santa might not just steal the entire year, and they might have match of the year tomorrow night on Raw.
They just might. We don't know. First one only because it was actually the beginning of the year and it was really, really cool. Punk Cena.
That was
Cena and Rana, Punk Driver.
a great match. There was, I mean, just the fact that as much as the internet wrestling community complains, or I want to complain, or I whine constantly, that's what they stand for. But I mean, just seeing Punk and Bryan just reach a whole nother level this year, especially Bryan. Just the fact that no matter how much they try to bury him, no matter how much they try to hold him down,
He had a great year.
The audience in the WWE universe, they won't let him fail. Like no matter what gets thrown at him, we'll always support him. Same thing with Punk.
How cool was Punk's entrance at WrestleMania though? Like that was just so spiritual.
Oh, it was awesome.
Fan. That was just so.
I remember
as a fan, that was amazing.
Like a few weeks prior to that, I found out that Living Color was going to be performing in the area on Saturday, and I contacted my best friend Frankie, who was going with me. I said, "Wouldn't it be awesome if they performed for him? Because they're performing at Irving Place the evening before." And I think it was leaked maybe like a few hours before, like a day before Mania. But it was awesome. Even Undertaker's entrance was great.
Oh yeah, that was when they did with the Walking Dead theme with Taker.
I actually wasn't able to see it from where I was sitting, but I saw it later on. But just being at Mania was just, it might not have been a WrestleMania 17 card or 19, but it was just a fun experience just being in that environment, just being surrounded by so many fans, just also being there the following night for Monday Night Raw was just great, just being a part of that, winning a Slammy. Like you mentioned, Punk and Cena, Bryan and Cena, Punk and Brock.
Taker Punk was great.
Punk and Taker, Cesaro and Bryan. Just
amazing match on Raw. An amazing match
seeing
on
the
Raw.
Shield.
Seeing the Shield.
I mean, just seeing so many guys that I watched in Ring of Honor, like Punk, Bryan, Rollins, Cesaro. Just seeing all these guys, even just a sentimental one, just last December, about a year ago, I saw El Generico wrestle for Ring of Honor in his last match at Ring of Honor in a ladder match that was spectacular, and just seeing him now doing his thing down in NXT and hopefully being called up to the main roster soon, it's just been just amazing. Like, I was always worried that even without his mask, I was concerned, like, would he be able to connect with the audience? And
that's always a big concern with not just masked wrestlers, but guys from other promotions.
And just seeing that he's connecting down there, just whether he has the mask or not, he's connecting down there. He's Sami Zayn down in NXT. You should definitely check him out on Hulu Plus, or just probably find it on YouTube. And if you can, look up his stuff as Generico in the Indies.
Yeah. Little stuff in between. You mentioned a lot of stuff. The match at Battleground with the Rhodes versus the Shield.
Oh, that was amazing.
Amazing.
That was the highlight of that. That was the highlight of that show.
Absolutely.
I mean, I went out for my birthday that weekend just to see that show.
Yeah.
And that match made it worth being there, considering the rest.
And that was a hit or miss pay per view, and you know we could argue all day about whether they missed or hit or whatever, but that match was spot on.
Oh yeah,
that match was the drawing point. Excuse me, stole it. Jerry Lawler being honored real briefly in the Memphis Raw. That was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed that little street fight that Ziggler and Sandow had, where Ziggler did the Fargo strut. That was a cool match.
That was also in Memphis.
I enjoyed the first Cesaro swing that happened this year, the best one.
Santino.
Yeah. Best, amazing.
That one, and the Kali one was great.
And the Kali one was phenomenal. Just seeing that.
I'm waiting for him to do it to either Big Show or Henry.
Match that I feel like isn't getting no burn, and the fact that it's not on a DVD set, 2 matches, Punk Jericho, Payback, Chicago, hello. And I got to see Punk RVD tear the fucking Barclays Center down. All right, that's another great match that we had. I
missed that show, unfortunately.
Daniel Bryan being crowned as the man at the Barclays Center was another amazing moment. What else do we have going on this year? AJ winning the women's title was a big deal.
That was awesome.
This year. Total Divas is a success. That's definitely something you have to highlight. Mm-hmm. You covered most of the great matches.
I have some bad news about Total Divas. JoJo will not be on next season.
What? I didn't even know this. What is this?
She's going to be replaced with a diva on the roster. I'm not sure who it is yet. But
when did this get announced?
I heard about a week ago on the Law.
Wow, who's it? That sucks. Are they releasing JoJo?
I don't know, but
I mean, that's what happens when you don't do anything.
let's have a moment of silence for JoJo. Okay, we're back.
That's cool.
I mean, she's still she's like 17 years old. Or how old
What
is
am
she?
I'm not gonna say my age on the air. If I'm my age, JoJo's like 12, so she's my type. No, I'm kidding. No, she's like 19 now, right?
Yeah, just about.
You know, do you remember when that rumor was out? She was dating Orton.
Yeah, whatever happened to that?
That comment just ruined any chance I have working with them. But I know that was out. That was like out, and then it was like buried the same week.
Maybe
I don't think it's true, honestly.
Maybe that's a reason why she's not on the show.
If that was the reason why, do you think she would be off the show? No offense. I'm just saying. Like he's.
Or
Not
maybe
a
the
John
fact, maybe they broke up, or I mean, there was one picture of them together, but that doesn't mean.
Yeah, that's why. I think that was bullshit. But
I mean, who would you like to see replace her on Total Divas? I mean, I'm going to say.
Oksana.
I mean, I know it wouldn't happen, but I would love to see just AJ on the show.
No, I don't want. I don't want to see AJ on the show.
I mean, just to see her and Punk's relationship.
My pick is either Oksana or somebody from NXT.
NXT, who would you pick?
Emma or Paige, just fine.
Yeah, maybe
Those are
Summer
the ones
Rae.
those are the ones
I could see them putting Summer Rae in there.
I don't want Summer Rae on there. I want Summer Rae and AJ in the way that they are.
I mean, I can see, or Caitlyn.
No. I don't see that.
I got it. Vicky.
I'd be fine with that.
And maybe that. I mean,
That's different. She'd be like the Kris Jenner.
I mean, it could be a way to introduce her daughter that's back down in NXT.
Yeah, if you go with somebody from NXT, that's another great way to do it. Shaw Guerrero, like Raquel Diaz, right, on the show,
Yeah.
on the NXT.
I don't know why they haven't brought in. Are you familiar with Rosita from TNA?
Yeah, man, she's great.
I don't know why WWE hasn't picked her up. I mean, if they can hire JoJo but not her, like if they wanted a short, young Spanish chick, she can actually work.
You know what I rewatched the other day when Nydia got drafted to Raw?
Mm-hmm.
What a ball drop! They dropped the ball on that. That could have been great.
Yeah, Nydia was pretty good.
Nydia was. I mean, well, she never got ring time, so we can't say how good she was. But she was a good manager with Jamie Noble. They did that very, very well with the Hurricane angle. Real quick, just because it's not fair to them, I'm not going to give them any good moments of the year because they didn't have one. I'm just saying, with the way things are going, with the storylines in Dixieland, because that's what I'm calling it from now on.
Wait, do you know what the Dixieland match is?
I heard about it. I don't know. What is it?
I'm going to explain it to our listeners out there. It was a match between Magnus and Jeff Hardy this past week.
That already sounds bad. I'm sorry.
For the
Bag of Coke?
I guess
I'm sorry.
the interim heavyweight title that AJ's gone.
Right.
Pretty much it was a cage match. You have to climb out of the cage.
That's what happens in a cage match, okay.
But walk up the ramp to a ladder on the top of the stage with a belt hanging over, and you have to climb the ladder and grab the belt on the stage.
And people say TNA's worst work is Vince Russo. I'm going to pull it from DX from 97. Who booked this crap?
Was Vince Russo there when they were having good matches?
Yeah, Russo was on the booking committee from when they opened a year and a half ago.
Yeah, so...
Year and a half, 2 years ago, whatever.
I mean, they have all this talent, but it's going to waste.
What a stupid fucking match. Like, I'm here picturing it.
I mean, I didn't watch it, but just...
So, wait, I got a question. I got a question. Why did you just climb out the door?
I mean, I saw...
Well, walk out, excuse me.
I saw Hardy take... I mean, the one clip I did see was Hardy just... Like, he was on the ladder and he was pushed off and fell on the ramp, and it looked brutal.
Can I just say something, though? WWE would have done that much better. Like, we're shit on the match.
Yeah.
But if WWE would have done it, it would have been better.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, to save the storyline with Dixie being in charge of everything and the whole Ethan Carter thing, TNA, I agree with my man, Don Tony. The answer, the writing is on the wall, bring back Jeff Jarrett.
I mean, that's pretty much
the
solution.
Yeah, he's old. People are going to say he's old. He can't go. I still think that he's one of the guys in his age group that could definitely work.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his last program with Angle was amazing.
Fantastic. And it's unfortunate why he's not on television, but that's a separate topic.
I mean, he's down in Mexico.
And other reasons. I think the writing's on the wall. I think Jeff Jarrett's a savior. I don't see AJ Lee. Huh? She's talking about me. I wish you were. Well, no, actually, I don't, because then the way you got with Michelle Beadle, Punk would get with me. I don't think the AJ angles will work, because I know now, not dirt sheets, but I know just insiders are saying it's a work. I don't think it is, and if it is, it's actually going to benefit TNA depending on how they handle it. And I don't think we'll know if it's a work until after the first AJ Styles booking, if he shows up, obviously.
Yeah.
The first indie booking. And it's already out there, his price and everything, so I don't think it's fake at all. And if it is, then TNA has a big opportunity to turn things around for the beginning of the year. But probably not. So, just for that. And here in the review, greatest moment in wrestling for the year of 2013.
I would say, although it only lasted about 2 minutes, I would say Daniel Bryan winning the belt.
I'm going to say it's
it was ruined, but just those 2 minutes, I was excited.
Greatest moment, WWE 2013, Daniel Bryan at the Barclays Center announced as number one contender.
Yeah, that was pretty
That
good.
to me is the best one of the year. Mm-hmm. Best moment of the year. Match of the year, what was number one on that list?
Punk and Brock.
People are going to be shocked by this pick. I'm going to go Cesaro Bryan. And that's pre-Cesaro swing, Cesaro and Bryan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that one. That was a spectacular match. It made me feel like I was watching Ring of Honor on a WWE TV.
That or Brodus Tensai.
And last week it was actually, I know you mentioned it was supposed to be a tag match with Tons of Funk and Woods and R-Truth, and it was actually just a one-on-one match with Brodus and R-Truth.
Oh, it was? And I saw that they wrestled on SmackDown, too, for the one coming up. My favorite quote of the year is actually from the IWC on a board. Somebody wrote about the Woods and Truth against Sons of Funk. Mm-hmm. Is this feud really based off the fact they took his fucking theme song? That's my line for the year. That's the best IWC complaint that I heard all year.
All right, folks. Just past an hour, I think.
It's up. Night. Time to stop posting.
Yeah, it's time to go.
GN, LOLs.
But I hope all you guys have a wonderful holiday this week.
And don't forget, next week, major announcement from me on the 4 Light. I'm so excited. It's going to be great.
I'm excited because I don't know what the hell it is.
It's going to be great.
And I've dealt with Cheyenne announcements in the past.
What?
Anyways, I'm gonna play this closing song. I'm choosing it this week.
Before you choose it, I'm just gonna say, get it out of your head now. Shawn Michaels is not wrestling ever again.
See, that's not fair because I want to believe it, but tell me a lie, folks.
Exactly. Happy New Year, folks.
Don't you mean Happy Holidays? New Year's is next week. We can tell them Happy New Year next week.
Oh, that's right. We're not going to do it like them and tape the next two. Okay. Yeah. Happy holidays, guys. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Boxing Day in Canada. Happy Flag Day.
We're going to be at the house show in Madison Square Garden.
We're going to be at the house show at Madison Square Garden. We're going to be there. What time? What's the bell time?
7:30.
7:30. 7:30 bell time for the show. We're going to be at the Garden at 5 signing autographs. We're going to be in
I have to get out of work at 5:30.
Oh, I'm going to be at the Garden at 5 signing autographs.
We'll be there. We won't be with each other, but if you are a listener and you can spot us, if you follow us on Facebook,
because I'm not telling you where we're sitting because that's creepy. But go ahead.
If you follow us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, and you can spot us, then come say hi.
Yeah, and then I'm going to be signing autographs at the. Is that a Borders or a Barnes and Nobles downstairs? Is that a Borders?
It's a One Direction store.
What? Does that much change? Because that's where I'm booked to sign my autographs.
Tell me a lie, folks.
I'm going to be at the One Direction store at 5 signing autographs, and then I'm going to sign autographs again during the intermission or the Divas match, which might be the same thing. So come find me.
All right. Enjoy your holidays, folks.